Welcome to EPG Pathshala. In the last topic, I have discussed about how to create class constant, use of how to use static property and static method in class, and using for each loop through objects property. In the third section of object oriented programming, today I am going to discuss about how to create clone an object. Then I discuss how you can inspect in an object. Then we consider inheritance, and at last access modifier, that how it works in object oriented programming. So let's first start with how you can clone or copy object. It may require, when you work with object, to make a copy of object. To copy an object, you require assignment operator. So you have to write object 1 assignment operator object 2. So object 2 is copied to object 1. This actually create new reference to the same object. In other words, we can say both the variable point to the same object. When PHP makes copy, it is make actually a shallow copy. Shallow copy means it will be copy the memory location of object. So if you change in one object, that will be reflected in another object as well. Let us understand by example. To explain, let me open Notepad and type code in it. So I open my Notepad. In the Notepad, I create by typing PHP and opening and closing PHP tag. Let me save this file as a file, save as, and I move to the WAMP. In the WAMP EPG and create new folder OOP3. In OOP3 I gave this one as an 1 copy object dot PHP and save this file. So first let me create one class employee. Now this class has a two private property, private employee ID and employee name. Let us create one constructor. So I define here public function double underscore construct and pass two parameter, employee ID and employee name. I can write, as I want to assign the value into it, $this EID is assigned to $EID, $this ename is assigned to $ename. Now I will write getter and setter for EID and ename. So let me write public function get EID. This will return $this and property EID. For set value, public function set EID and it takes parameter $value. Within that procedure I will write $this EID is assigned to $value. Same way I have to set for ename. So I will write public function get ename and this function will return $this property ename. To set it value, public function set ename, parameter is $value and $this ename is assigned to $value. So this is my class I have defined. Now let me create one object of that. So I will create obj1 is assigned to new employee. Let me write 101 and name is Vipul. I will write echo br obj1 is br and to what object it contains, print underscore r $obj1. Let me create another object. obj2 is assigned to new employee, let's say 110, and give the name Dhaval. Then you can type echo br obj2 is br. Then again I will type print underscore r obj2. These are the two objects I have created. Now let me show you what actually it will display. So I start my web server. As it now red, now it will change to orange and then green, so I can open that file in it. So now it will be starting, so it will be make green. Now I will open localhost. In localhost we have created a folder called EPG, and inside EPG I have folder OOP3. In that I create copy object.php. So it will show obj1 is employee object, employee ID, employee private 101, and same way ename employee private Vipul. Now I will write here obj1 assignment operator obj2. That means obj2 is copied to obj1. So now I write echo br after set obj1 is equal to obj2 br echo br $obj1 is, or simply obj is br, and print underscore r obj2. Same way I will write here for obj1. So I copy this one and type here after set obj2 is, here I write 2 is, and here I write obj1 is obj1. So let me save this one. If I refresh this page now, so look at 1 and 2 as the same value as I assigned 2 to 1. So 2 as employee ID 110, so 1 as also employee ID 110, and name Vipul is replaced with Dhaval. Now if I change, let me write $obj2 and set ename to, let me set it with Vimal. Now I write echo br after setting or change ename to Vimal for object2 br echo br obj2 is br, and print underscore r $obj2. And let me print for obj1 as well. After change ename for object2, obj1 is obj1. So I save this one, refresh this. So look at object1 and object2 both are changing. In the same way, if I make changes in object1 EID, that will be also reflected in object2. So this is not sometime you require. So if you don't want that, then I have to use clone operator. Clone operator is cloning the object, so it will not change the original copy. To clone an object, the syntax is clone object name. Let me demonstrate it by just simply writing new code. I just copy the same code because it is very similar to that one. So I make copy of the whole code, copy it, new, paste, save this one as a file, save as, give it name as a 2, clone object dot php, and here I just make only one change, object1, then I write clone object2. So now look at here, if you clone it, let me open that file, clone object. So object 1 and 2, object 1 has employee ID 101, name Vipul, object 2 has employee ID 110, name is Dhaval. Then we said obj1 is assigned to clone object 2, so object 2 is 110 and Dhaval, and object 1 is 110 and Dhaval. I think let me check it here as I clone it. Yes, I make clone object 2. So object 2 I make changes in it, so it will become 110 and Dhaval. But now if I change name to Vimal for object 2, so it will be change only name Vimal on object 2 only. Object 1 has name is not change. So this is the actually cloning of object, because though you clone, initially it will take the same value, but if you make modification of anyone, the first one is not changing. So this is the use of clone. Of course you can use equality and identity operator also to know whether it will be how it work. The equality operator check that it will be work of the same object or not. Let's say for example I write here, let me write echo check for equality operator. Now I check $answer is assigned to $obj1 is equal to, means double assignment operator, obj2 echo, let me write br answer 1 is equal to dot $answer 1, here I rename as answer 1, and I will check for $answer 2 is equal to $obj1 triple equal to $obj2, and type echo br answer 2 is equal to $answer 2. Save this file, refresh my page. So answer 1 is not 1, answer 2 is also not 1, because I clone that object. If I not clone it, just let me show you. If I not clone it here, let me copy paste that code after that, so you get better idea. I just cut this one, and here I add this code, and I put all this in remarks, as I want to just check for this value only. So save this one. Now I refresh this page, so it says answer 1 is 1 because answer 1 is equal to operator, while answer 2 is 0 because both the objects are not same. In case if you not write clone here, and then we can check this, so it shows both are 1. So this is the use of clone. So that is all about clone. Next point is inspecting an object. Inspecting an object is known as an introspection or reflection. There are many built-in methods available to test it. You can find all the methods about PHP manual on the site php.net. This method is typically used to check whether this method or an object parameter is expected type or not, as well as it will be helpful to make sure that the property or method exists before you can call it. The table shows some of these functions and method. You can see this function. These functions are class underscore exist, and you have to provide class, so it will return true if class is exist. Get class returns the name of class of an object. Is underscore a is a check whether the object of a particular class or not. Property exists return true if object has a particular property, and same as method exists. Let's understand by example. So let me open the same file again here, and let me make copy of the code here. So because the same code I would like to use here, so I make here copy of that code. So here I copy the class employee, so I don't need to rewrite it. So I just make copy of that class and only this line. Now I create new file. paste it and save this one as a third one, introspection.php. So here I create one class employee with private attribute eid and ename. Then we create one constructor and get id and set id for eid and ename and create one object. Now let us check one by one. The first method is class exist. So let me write code for class exist. Here I write $answer1 is assigned to class exist, and I will write class name. So here class name is employee. Then I can check if $answer1 is equal to true, then I will display echo h1 class employee exist, else display as echo h1 class employee does not exist. Right, so let's save this one and run this program. So I just go back and click on introspection. So it says obj1 class employee does not exist. The problem is I write wrong spelling mistake. I have to write here answer1 ans1. Save this one, refresh this one. So class employee exists. The next method is get class. So here I can write for get class. Define $answer2 is assigned to get underscore class, and it takes object name. So here I write the object I have created is obj1. Look at here, I have created one object obj1. Now I can write echo h1 obj1 is of class $answer2. /h1. Save this file. So object 1 is of class employee, so it will display obj1 is of class employee. You can provide space to show it some formatting way. So this is class employee. The third method is a to check whether it is an object or not. So I write is a $answer3 is assigned to is a, and it will take two parameters. First one is object, so I write obj1, and is of which class, I will write employee. And again I can check if $answer3 is equal to true, then you can say echo h1 $obj1 is object of class employee, else you can write echo h1 $obj1 is not an object of a class employee /h1. Save this one and check this one. So obj1 is object of class employee. If you write any other class name, say for example employee1, then it should display it is not object of that class, right? The fourth method is property exists as well as method exists. Let me check for property exists. So you can check $answer4 is assigned to property underscore exit. You have to provide object or class name. So I write $obj1 and property is eid. as I define in class EID, and again write if $answer4 is equal to true, then you can say echo h1 property EID exists for object $obj1. Else echo h1 property ID does not exist or does not exist for object obj1. Same way we can check for method exist, and you can write $answer5 is assigned to method exist $obj1. Method name is either get or set. Let me write set ename, and then again I have to write the same code. So I just copy paste this one and check if $answer5 is true, then I can say method set ename exists, else method set ename does not exist for object obj1. Save this one, run this one. So property ID exists and method also exists. So these are the sum of this function I have taken for introspection. Let's move to another topic. The next concept is inheritance. Inheritance is one of the essential concepts in object-oriented programming. Inheritance allows developer to use the class once they have defined. So the class, once it is defined, it is used by another class. So the class which is inherited by another class, so the original class or the main class is known as a parent class or base class, and the class which get or use of that class, this is known as a child class or you can say subclass. Parent class is also known as a superclass. So the class which inherit class, it inherits all the properties and method of superclass. Subclass can also write new property and method apart from the properties and method inherited by the original class. And not only that, the subclass can override the method defined in superclass. Overriding the method means subclass use the same method name defined in superclass. To call a method of superclass in subclass, you can write parent, the parent keyword is used, then scope resolution operator, and then the name of method. Here the parent refers to the class name. Object oriented providing reusability of the code, because the codes you write in one class that you can apply in another class, and it helps you to provide consistency in a code for developer. So once a class is defined, they can reuse it. Let us understand it by example. Let me first write one code to use inheritance. So let me create one class for the same. So I will create open notepad and create new file. Let me create opening and closing PHP tag and file, save as, give this one as a name for inheritance.php, as it explained inheritance. Now I create one class and I give this class name as a class person. It takes 4 attribute: private, $fname, $lname, $mobile, and $email. Means 4 properties: first name, last name, mobile number, and email ID. Then I use constructor for the same. So I write public function __ construct, and it takes 2 parameter, fname and lname. and in constructor $this object access operator f name is assigned to $f name. $this L name is assigned to $L name. We know that $this is a reference to the current object. It stores reference to the current object. So $this is used to get the current object you can use with property. Now I define getter and setter for all this one. So first I use for f name. So I will write public function get f name. In this function return $this and f name, my property name. To set public function set f name $value, and you can write $this f name is assigned to $value. Same way I have to write for L name. So public function get L name. This function return $this object access operator and property L name, and to set value into it public function set L name $value $this object access operator L name is assigned to $value. Now to set for mobile public function get mobile, and in this function return $this mobile. Public function set mobile $value. So this set is for write only method. So $this object access operator property name mobile is assigned to $value, and the last one is email. So public function get email. This function is read only, so it is return $this property email. Public function set email $value $this email is assigned to $value. So in this class I defined 4 property f name, L name, mobile and email. Use one constructor which will be take 2 parameter for first name and last name, and then I use getter and setter for f name, L name and mobile and email. Now let me create another class. The class name I define as a class employee, but employee is also person, so I write here extends. So this is the keyword which is used to inherit that class. So I write class employee extends class name is person. That means class employee is get all the properties and method that we define in class person. Now this class may have its own attributes, so let me define EID and E department. So here I use again constructor for that class. So let me write public function double underscore construct. It takes 4 parameter: first name, last name, employee ID and employee department. So $this EID is assigned to $EID, $this and E department is assigned to $E department. Now f name and L name is of class person, not defined in that class, and they are private because I have defined all the attribute in private, but my constructor in superclass class person is public, so I can call that constructor. That's why I write parent scope resolution operator double underscore construct, and here I pass $f name and L name. So I call this constructor. So this is the use of that. Now here I have to set getter and setter for EID and ename. So I write public function get EID. So it will return in that code. I have to write $this EID. For set the value, public function set EID, pass parameter, and inside the block $this EID is assigned to $value. Another is E department. So here again I write public function for employee department get E department, and it will return $this property E department. Public function set E department $value $this object access operator property E department is assigned to $value. So this all I have set getter and setter for that class E department and EID, and I use constructor parent constructor and define this. Now let me create object. So here I write $emp is assigned to new employee. Let me write employee as a first name is, let me write Vimal, surname is Dave, its employee ID is 101 and employee department is IT. Now we can say echo br after setting emp br. Let me print that value, so I use print underscore r $emp. Let me save this code and execute it. So I move to my browser and call that inheritance. E department spelling mistake on line 57, so I will just change it. At line 57 I use EDEPT, right? Save this one, run this code. So after setting emp employee object as employee ID 101, employee department IT, first name is Vimal, last name is Dave, and their mobile and email ID is not displayed. Now as I say, we can use method of the superclass. So let me define here use of our superclass. So I can say $emp, the method is, let's say, set mobile, and let me write value 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 0 or any mobile number, and then I can say echo br after setting employee mobile number br print underscore r $emp. Save this one. Let me refresh this one. So you can see it here. It will be changed mobile number to this mobile number. If you want to display, you can also write echo echo br mobile number is br, and just use echo $emp, and there is a method get mobile. Save this one, run this, so it will display mobile number also. So this is the inheritance that we are using. Now the last point is access modifier. So let me show one demo for that one also. To get the idea of this access modifier, let me make copy of the same program that I use for inheritance. So I make copy of the whole program, copy this one, create new file, paste it here, and let me write file, save as, this one is file, I write access modifier.php, save this one, Now let's say in class employee, though I extend class person in it, let me create one new function. I create one function full name, so I will write public function full name, and here I write $full, or let me write echo br full name is, I use $this and fname dot space $this and lname. These two are my property, fname and lname. And now that I check echo br check access modifier br, save this. Now if I call that method full name, so let me write echo $emp and full name. So it will show error. The reason is that fname and lname are private. Let me show you. If I call this one, so it says undefined property employee $fname on line 81. The reason is that these both are private. I can make them if I use this protected. Say, let me change here, mobile and email are private, but here I write protected $fname and lname. Protected means they can be used by the class which is inherited. And now run that program, so it will display full name is Vimal Dave, because now they are protected properties. So this is access modifier. I just give you brief idea about that when you work with that, so this access modifier is public, so public is accessible outside class and subclass can have accessibility. Protected is outside class not accessible, but subclass can access it, while private is not access outside class as well as not in accessibility in subclass. So let's summarize today's topic. We first consider how to copy object, then we know that there is a difference between copy and clone, then we show methods of introspecting an object, then we discuss about how you can inherit a class, and finally how you can use access modifier. In the next topic again I will take the very few topic remaining of object oriented programming. These all are the references if you want to find more about object oriented programming in PHP. I hope you enjoy this lecture.